it all in 5 months.
They have a really good environmental program here.
Yeah.
They do, and it's nice to have that combination of chemistry and the environmental programs as well. So it's a very nice mix.
Good.
Can I answer a question for you?
Well, I have one comment and one question. I believe that they've made a lot of progress in reducing the flow of elemental mercury that they use in electrolytic cells to generate chlorine and other things. So, I mean, that was a huge source of contamination in near the plants that were releasing the liquid mercury into the rivers and lakes and oceans. But I'm wondering, why do we still allow throwing away mercury batteries?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of products where if you have to control the product at the consumer, the point of the consumer, that is a much more difficult problem than controlling the production side of things.
But we could recycle the batteries.
Could recycle the batteries. I'm really not sure. I don't know why we don't recycle them. It could be a technological problem. It could be a difficulty in recycling them. It could be expense. They might have to set up a market to do that recycling. But I really, those are
Actually, they should try to do that.
Yeah, anybody know why we don't recycle mercury batteries? I'd like to know. I've got a can of them in my, I refuse to put them in the garbage.
Yeah, don't we all?
Don?
The county does have a recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just take them out
But what
there.
they do with them,
They
I
don't,
have no
they don't
idea.
recycle mercury though, they just throw them away. It's very,
Hmm.
it's expensive to do.
So, for example, the universities, they do actually have a huge fine process setup. So, for example, at MIT, there's a 3-strike rule set up by the EPA, and they actually come and do the water testing for the MIT waste every week or every bi-weekly, basically. And they can pinpoint if there was even a 1 ppb increase of the mercury which came through, and they can sort of go back to say, hey, what mercury was dumped into the thing. But so they have that for the universities and the commercial thing. But usually it's the company lobby which has stopped us from creating implementing the compulsory rule for the public to actually recycle it, because ultimately it comes down to that.
They didn't used to recycle lead batteries either. They do now because they work on lead. But the same thing is true of mercury. And it's probably worse.
I didn't actually know that.
Kind of gets involved with the concept of cradle to grave. You can enforce cradle to grave at the corporate level and levels like that, but when you get out to the consumer level, there's no hope.
Well, there's actually a nonprofit organization called Cradle to Cradle, and they're trying to do that sort of accounting for consumer products. So that as a consumer, you can at least try to buy those products. But you're right,
The
it's
consumer
hard.
can, but it's the consumer
And the
has a
consumer
choice.
has to choose, yeah.
In the corporation, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
In the corporation policy rules.
Yeah.
As a consumer, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's really true. That's really true. And I would also say, like, Cradle to Cradle, this organization, they have very few products that they endorse because it's really difficult to account for the entire life cycle.
Processes like fracking and such add to the complexity of what's happening, that is human activity with the geological causation.
I mean, I feel like the short answer to that is yes. You're injecting fluid underground. This fluid has a bunch of stuff in it that the companies say is proprietary information, so you don't know exactly what it does when it gets underground, and then it can react with the rock, and then you have waste that comes up. So that is also an environmental, that's a pretty deep environmental problem as well, yeah. And it can change it can react with the rock, and it can change the chemistry of elements and how they partition between the rock and certain aqueous phase, yeah.
Slightly off topic. Years ago, I blew out a mercury manometer. Right, years ago, obviously. And I had this mist of mercury coming down on me. How toxic is metallic mercury?
It's not as toxic for you.
Thank you.
You'll be fine.
You are fine. You are fine.
You know, just don't like give it to a small child to play with. That's what I would recommend. As long as you don't do that, it's probably safe.
Vape in addition.
Well, on that note, let us thank Sharon Bone. Sharon, thank you. Good job, good job. I'm sure Sharon's hanging around to answer questions. Don't forget to fill out the forms on your table. And our ACS representatives are back there, just happy to chat with you. Woo! Donovan and Ning are back there. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next month. Thank you.
Nice job. That was great.